Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine Bowl Special. We're presented by Navy Mutual, Navy Federal, and the Military Star Card. When I think of a star, I think of our next guest, the anchor of the Navy Midshipman O-line, Brent Self, the center. Brent, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great.
You were going to practice for the bowl game anyway against Oklahoma. However, with that win over Army, how were the vibes this week in practice?
Yeah, they were great. It's one of our main three goals, and to know that all the hard work really paid off to go out there and accomplish our goal really just makes all the work we do out here feel worth it.
With those goals under your belt, how would you describe the celebration and the camaraderie you shared with your brothers this week?
It was unbelievable. A lot of hours out here on this very field, working out, sweating. It really just forms a brotherhood that you can't really explain. And so just to celebrate with them, you didn't really think about, I'm going to do this for a celebration or that. You just kind of grabbed the nearest brother next to you and just hugged them.
I saw one of your fists had the American flag holding it up during blue and gold. What was that moment like with the brigade?
It was amazing. Can't really explain it. Brigade's done a great job this year just supporting us and being with us and celebrating with them and seeing the way they just cheered us on and kept the momentum was awesome.
What did you like the most about your team's performance in that Army game?
Just the fact that we never stopped. We started off strong and we had a lot of momentum, and we easily could have let that taken over and let the emotion taken over and then started performing worse. But just the fact that it was the next play, it was 1-0 every play, was probably the proudest moment.
What do you attribute that mindset to? Who gets the credit for instilling that in you?
Coach New and then the strength staff. Coach New always talks about it. It's always 1-0. It doesn't matter if it was good or bad. You don't ride the high, you don't ride the low. It's always the next play. And that's something the strength staff did a great job over this past offseason instilling in us, was that 1-0 mindset.
You mentioned the strength staff. How did you see returns on your investment in the weight room this year?
Yeah, one of the big focuses we had was sled pushes this year. And, last year, the past couple of years, we've gotten stopped at the 1. And then this year we were 2 for 2. And I think that goes hand in hand right there.
I think back to day one of fall camp. Ben Purvis is doing that sled push. He's hitting it with his elbow, and then he has that block in the UAB game. What other strides did you see out of your teammates in terms of that physicality at the line of scrimmage?
Just really using technique and especially on our double teams, coming off the ball with good pad level. I think our pad level definitely improved throughout the season. So that was something I was proud to see.
How does that type of skill increase bode well for an SEC opponent like Oklahoma?
I think, when it comes down to the basic fundamentals, lowest man always wins. I think that's really what's going to come down to. They're a talented group. They play hard. They play with good pad level, and that's something we need to win.
You grew up south of the Red River in Keller, Texas. As a young boy, what were your impressions of the Oklahoma Sooners?
I mean, everyone around me was an Oklahoma fan, and it got a little annoying, to be honest. My best friend from back home, Ben Green, and his parents, the biggest OU fans ever, and it always annoyed me talking about OU every weekend.
Were you a Texas fan?
Not necessarily, but sometimes I rooted for them.
What was your allegiance growing up as a Texas resident?
This is going to sound weird, but Arkansas. My grandpa played basketball there, so I always grew up going to an Arkansas game.
Wow. Who did you model your game after as a kid?
Honestly, probably my bigger brother that ended up coming here.
Justin Self. This is back-to-back years I've seen him on the sidelines of the Army-Navy game. Do you watch what he does at all during the game?
Not really, but there was one moment where we were down, and I looked over on the far end zone by the brigade, and there was a white sweatshirt jumping up and getting them pumped up and getting them loud, and I just somehow knew, even though I couldn't really tell, that was my brother. And then I watched that sweatshirt run back over, and sure enough, it was my brother, and it didn't shock me at all.
Is that an accurate description of his character, just the hype guy?
Yes, sir. He loves this program. He'll do anything for it, and he knows to get the brigade behind you in those kind of games can change the game, and so he kind of made that his mission.
We're taping this on the practice field about a week out from kickoff in the Armed Forces Bowl. What are the challenges with the limited time that you have to prepare for the Sooners?
Yeah, they're a great team. They've had 3 weeks to prepare for us and to get healthy, and I think that's one of the biggest task for us is to get healthy, get all our bumps and bruises covered up and ready to go.
How's the O-line looking health-wise?
We're looking great.
We mentioned Justin. Who else from the Self family is going to be making the trip, 10 miles to Fort Worth?
My mom will be there. She'll be coming from Alabama. And then my fiance and my best friends will be there.
Congratulations. When's the wedding?
Next December.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, with all this in mind, you've got this big bowl game coming up. The culture in Texas, it's big. Everything is bigger in Texas, but especially the football culture. How would you describe it growing up just outside of Fort Worth?
Yeah, for me, it was pretty early, and my goal was wanting to go D1 college football. So everything really revolved around doing that summer, 2-hour workout, driving across town to go do another workout, and then come back later that day. It's nonstop.
You mentioned the desire to play Division I. Was it always the Naval Academy just with what Justin did, or what else was on your plate?
Started off Arkansas because I grew up a huge Arkansas fan, like my grandpa. And then, I quickly realized I wasn't going to be big enough, so just anywhere. And then once my brother came here, I saw the culture of the team, the brotherhood, and everything the school had to offer you. This is where I really wanted to go.
You mentioned the brotherhood. You are set to play in your final college football game. How do you want to go out?
I want to go out with a win.
What does it take to play against the Power Four big Division I schools, the ones that you aspired to play for back in the day?
I think it's going to come down to the fundamentals and holding the ball longer than they can, giving our defense a break, and then being efficient with the ball, scoring every time we get a chance.
Mm-hmm. Time of possession played a big deal in that Army game. What lessons can you take out of your performance just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it's just being efficient on first down. We've always talked about being efficient on third down. And that's something we were very efficient on first down, and it just kind of widened my eyes personally to making third downs a lot easier.
Yeah. What can you say about the growth of your quarterbacks, Blake Horvath and also Braxton Woodson with a breakout game just a few weeks ago, their progress over this season?
Yeah, it's just amazing to see. Both those guys have been dealing with injuries and stuff in the past, and just to see all their hard work being able to pay off and to see them grow in their confidence means a lot to us as a unit.
What lessons would you want to leave behind, specifically around hard work, to make this culture in the program sustainable for the next 4 years and the next recruiting cycle that comes through?
Yeah, nothing replaces hard work. Here, that's what gets us wins. Not being able to use a transfer portal or anything like that. We only have hard work on our side.
What can you say about the culture and how it led to the turnaround this year for 9 wins, looking at 10 in this Armed Forces Bowl coming up?
Yeah, we talk about the brotherhood, and I think that's one of the biggest things was just playing for each other, like truly playing for each other, and a group of coaches we could get behind. And when you're tired and it's been a long drive and you just want to go sit down and you look over and you see your brothers also breathing heavy, exhausted, it gives you a little extra.
December 27th, Brent Self, your final game as a midshipman. How will you reflect and look back on your time as a member of the Navy football team?
Just look back and see all the growth that I've made from being like third string backup on a scout team to now starting and playing in my last game. Just to see how I've grown as a football player, but more importantly as a man.
Look forward to seeing that too. Brent Self, thank you so much for the time.
No problem. Thank you.